how petty Utah brands can be. This guy started Dirty Dough and he used to be a Crumbl employee, and Crumbl sued them because they were using trademark stuff. And some of the trademark stuff seemed silly. Like, hey, you can't use sprinkles on your cookies. Your boxes that you ship out look too much like ours. What would seem like pettiness stuff, and Dirty Dough, instead of like fighting it from a lawsuit perspective and putting all their money to like crush Crumbl, they put their marketing dollars to crush Crumbl. And it worked really, really well. So
when you say crush, just fight.
Listen, Crumbl did not get crushed, but Crumbl back down and they settled versus like Dirty Dough, you're done.
Yeah.
You know what they wanted. So it's like Crumbl won, but also so did Dirty Dough at the same time. Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Unstoppable Marketer Podcast. Here with me, as always, is Mr. Mark Goldhart.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
Good.
Yeah.
I was like listening to a few of our episodes back, and I'm like, we always like, I have this like same intro, and then I like almost like last 10 episodes, it's like the next thing that said was something about the weather. Snowed today, or it's like spring, and I almost just did it again. I almost just said, we've had great weather lately, which is true.
It is, yeah.
We have had great weather lately.
Well, I always laugh at this time of year because everybody in Utah, it's probably like this wherever it's snowy, where you have a long winter,
where you have a little bit of both.
Everyone's so excited for the spring, and then the second spring shows up, just everybody's just red-eyed and coughing and sneezing.
Yes,
allergies destroying their life.
Yeah,
it's always funny.
Not me. I went to an allergist, a wizard.
Yeah, that's what you said.
I used to have death allergies, and now I have zero. I shouldn't say zero. It's a little bit. I get a little.
That's the claim.
Stuffy.
That's the big claim.
Well, if you want to, in a nutshell, I'll give you the TLDR in 30 seconds. Our producer said, what did they do?
It's all about like energy and vibes.
Yeah, it's an NAT specialist, I think. And he essentially rewired my nervous system.
What does that mean, NAT?
I can't remember. You'd have to look it up. I can't remember. I just
like
remember the
made up
acronym.
title.
Probably. But they essentially reset your nervous system. I used to have wild hay fever. Like, I'm telling you, I could not go outside.
Okay, but reset your nervous system. Like, I mean, you have to explain what that actually is.
Okay, so this is where things get like, you might think less of me as you hear this. So I go into this guy's room.
Like, because if you hear reset your nervous system, you're thinking like, okay, did they, I don't know, like use some electrodes? Did they...
A little bit of that.
Did they give you drugs? Like, how do you reset a nervous system?
So,
the answer might surprise you.
Well, first of all, let me just say this first. Okay, like I said, I could not go outside without, like, there was like a 2-week period where I would go outside like with toilet paper stuffed up my nose in a way so that you couldn't see it, like, and I would just look down so that you couldn't see up. You know,
you did have childhood asthma, right?
I did have childhood asthma.
Yeah,
but later discovered that my allergies, because ever since this happened, I've never had asthma.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yep. So, anyways, my buddy tells me about this guy. He used to be allergic to green peppers, and he's like almost deathly allergic, he would say, like EpiPen. And he's like, now I eat green peppers all the time. So I'm like, that's crazy. I have been taking all sorts of prescription drugs for this. My life sucks for about a month a year. And then another time in the fall, because the leaves fall and stirs up more pollen. It's like a few days, as the leaves fall here in Utah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I'll do anything. I'll pay anything for it, because you can get like shots, but those shots can make you infertile. Like it's like the Accutane of, you remember Accutane for acne? Like it will get rid of your acne, but you may never have kids, like the side effects are just so brutally crazy, And so I'm like, well, I don't want to do that.
Man, that's
because I was in the heat of having children, getting ready to have children. I think when I did this, it was probably 8 or 10 years ago. So I go to this guy, and you first take a test to discover what you're allergic to. And in order to do so, you have to have a surrogate, somebody who is pure, somebody who does not have allergies. And essentially what happens is you hold onto her wrist,
or
it was a she, and she holds the vial of the allergen. It's like a glass vial of the allergen. And she holds her arm up like this. And I'm holding it up like I'm raising my hand if you're listening. And what happens is he will push it down, and if she can resist, I'm not allergic to it. But if it like goes down and it's weak, there's an allergy there. So that's how you discover. So keep in mind, I went in and I did not tell him what I was allergic to. There were 5 things that I was allergic to. After I went through this whole thing, we tested like 35 different things. And it was like the pollens, the trees, the grass, you know, the hay fever stuff, nothing else. And so the way you treat it is you hold the vial, the allergen, and you can't do multiple at once. So if I'm just going for tree pollens, it's like, okay, I'm holding the Utah tree pollens in my hand, and he has you do these series of and this is where things get like really weird. These series of things in his office that you're like, I remember when I did the first one, and I will explain it, but I'm going to feel really embarrassed. I remember looking at him and being like, I said, no disrespect, but I feel like you're tricking me and you have cameras in here. Like the papers that I signed, I didn't read them, and I feel like I signed the fact that you can film me. And he got so upset with me. Like he was so offended and could not believe that I did that. But this is what he had me do. Like I was like sitting straight up, and I didn't have a hat on, and he had me pant like a dog, like with my tongue out like this, while him wiping my forehead like this for like 30 seconds. But it was just a series of things like that, you know? And then he was like, I had my shoes off, and he was doing pressure points on my feet and on my hands, and had this like massage gun on my spine and holding my breath. I mean, I can't remember all of it. It was so long ago. But yeah, like that.
But it worked.
Yeah. And then I had to go sit in a room that was at a certain temperature on like a massage bed. And you have to sit in that room for 30 minutes. And you can't have a phone. You can't have anything electric. You can't have like any metal near you.
Can't have any magnetism in there, huh?
And you can't sleep. And you have to think, like you have to do your best to think about the allergy. So I just sit there and think for 30 minutes about trees. But I'm telling you it worked. Whether it's placebo or legit, I actually don't care. I don't believe necessarily in the science of it. I just believe it worked, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, thanks for explaining.
So I went deeper than I thought, but yeah, I feel a little embarrassed. But listen, let's get into some marketing. Let's get into the top. Kind of what we wanted to talk about today is something that's like, it's kind of pissing me off and irking me a little bit, but I think it's it's a funny topic. It pisses me off, but I think there's some really good marketing lessons. And so if anybody follows me, I posted this TikTok and this Instagram video that has since kind of blown up and gone up viral to me. Yeah, I think I've learned the definition of virality is 300,000 views.
Is that what people say?
I think that's what I've read, and it could be more and it could be less, but it's got over that now. So it's viral for me. And it was just pretty much me breaking down how petty Utah brands can be. Across all spectrums, not just e-commerce, but just everywhere, you know, retail, whatever. And
it's because they've been listening to our podcast and we said to choose an enemy.
Yeah, maybe, right? Maybe. But yeah, there's some big pettiness. And so just to give you a quick recap, I really break down three different brands who did this, okay? The first one was like 2022. So
yeah, but let's just be specific.
Oh yeah.
These brands all have had billboards that kind of clearly are playing against each other.
Yes.
That's why you brought it up.
Yeah.
So like we call it the billboard war.
Yeah, it's not like I'm pulling something apart that isn't intentional.
Yeah.
Or not people know about. I just like if you're not in Utah, you wouldn't know, I guess, right? Because you see it in Utah. The thing about Utah is the whole state is like connected by one highway. Like that's the different. Like it's very interesting. It's one highway, and you really have like 2 counties in Utah that represent probably, dare I say, 50% of the population. I could be very wrong by that. Utah County and Salt Lake County.
I mean, probably like 65, 70.
Yeah. You know, so So you know what I'm talking about. But anyways, it started with Crumbl cookie. Everyone's heard of Crumbl. That's a nationwide brand. But then there was a Utah-based company called Dirty Dough, and apparently one of the guys from Dirty Dough stole
a recipe.
Well, it was different things. But anyways, this guy started Dirty Dough, and he used to be a former Crumbl employee. And Crumbl,
allegedly, of course.
Yeah, sued
allegedly
them.
Did these
sued
things.
them because they were using trademark stuff, and some of the trademark stuff were really, from the outside looking in, seemed silly. Like, hey, you can't use sprinkles on your cookies. Your boxes that you ship out look too much like ours. Like, just what would seem like pettiness stuff. And Dirty Dough, instead of being the small business, instead of like fighting it from a lawsuit perspective and putting all their money to like crush Crumbl, they put their marketing dollars to crush Crumbl. And it worked really, really well. So
when you say crush, just fight.
Listen, Crumbl did not get crushed, but Crumbl backed down and they settled versus like Dirty Dough, you're done.
Yeah.
You know what they wanted. So it's like Crumbl won, but also so did Dirty Dough at the same time. So I've had tons of people come at me. I've even had like some Crumbl founders come to me and like in the comments, like they've come at me a little bit. Okay, so that's number one. Number two, I said was like Swig, which is a dirty soda drink, like company here in Utah. So if you don't know anything about Utah, like there's not a lot of like coffee drinkers out here. Comparatively to other states. But we love our soda. We love our caffeine. And so there's these dirty soda shops that are massive out here that probably wouldn't be massive in most other states. And the big one is called Swig. And in my neck of the woods where I live, which I will not say where, there was a Swig that had been around for a while, and a dirty soda competitor came up called Fizz.
Okay.
With two I's, one Z, Fiiz.
Okay.
Okay, very important. And they announced their grand opening, and the day they announced their grand opening, what does Swig do? Because soda has such good margins, they said any soda you buy from us is $1. Kind of like what McDonald's did. Remember when McDonald's did this? It's like,
well, they just did every drink's $1.
Every drink's $1. Yeah. That's how it was, you know? And some drinks that they have there were $5, some were $1.50, you know? So it's like every drink was $1. So they did that like opening day, and it crushed to the, I mean, I don't know Fizz's numbers. So anecdotally, it looked like it crushed Fizz. Like anytime you drive by Fizz, and it's still going, this has been happening for what seems like a year now. Anytime you drive by the Fizz versus a Swig line, I've been in it. I've waited in it twice because my kids wanted it so bad. 45 minutes to get your dollar drinks, whereas Fizz won't have a single person in the line. I mean, the line is wrapped around. I took video footage. So like if you go watch my video, it's actual live video footage. I had to like go to create the piece of content. I'm like, I got to go actually like.
So they're just across the street from each other.
Yeah, literally right across the street from each other.
Funny.
Yep. So Fizz does that, and then I another one, which was Minky Couture, which is a luxury blanket company, and Lola Blankets, which is an upcoming. We've had Tommy Higgum on the podcast. He was awesome. He's the founder of Lola Blankets, and Minky's been around for 10 years or so, and Lola's probably been around for 2 to 4. I can't remember. I want to say 2022.
I don't know.
I feel like it was 2022 when he came on. I could be wrong. So, anyways, there's a blanket war now. There's these blanket wars happening because Minky used to have all these billboards, and now Lola has better branding, and it's a little bit more up to date and a little more hip and a little bit more kind of millennial Gen Z vibes, and they're just exploding, and they're taking over all of the billboard spots. And so I just brought it up like, hey, this is what we do here in Utah. Like this, we go hard, we compete, and
yeah, but also they're a little bit more on like the high fashion side.
They totally are. Yeah, at least
their positioning makes it feel more like a luxury fashion.
Yes.
Where Minky Couture is they haven't positioned themselves like that. They position themselves more as like a
family giftable,
a very high quality, family giftable blanket that's awesome that your mom's gonna love. And
totally. And here's the thing. They coexist.
Like Lola has like all these models, you know?
Yeah, Lola's like the comfort.
Lola's got some like
Lola's the comfort of hoodies and sweatshirts. It's like all their models are beautiful.
You got some like Abercrombie and Fitch shirtless
very
shots
Abercrombie
with the blanket.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and so this is why I want to bring this up. So like one, we can get into Utah pettiness and we'll talk about it as much as you guys want because there's a ton out here that we can go on for.
It's only petty if people take it personal, I guess.
It's true. But that's what I want to say. I use the word, listen, I'll be honest with you. I use the word pettiness because it was clickbait. Okay. Yes, some of it's petty, but I actually think it's all merited personally. Okay.
All's fair in love and war.
Yeah.
So what they say.
I posted another piece of content today about, I was talking about how brands, the best brands who win can create organic content and view it as top of funnel content where they're not trying to sell people. And then they use their ad strategy to retarget and to prospect through all that. And I had somebody come after me saying, oh, because one of the brands I reference that does this in a unique way is Comfort, the hoodie pant. And this woman came after me today saying, oh, Comfort just copies everybody. They're garbage. They're da 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 da. And so where I want to take this Utah pettiness, Comfort, whatever podcast episode that we're talking is everyone copies everyone, if that's how we're looking at it. So you're telling me no one else can sell sweatpants and a hoodie because someone else already did it. That's really what this woman's saying.
Or blanket.
Or a blanket, a plush blanket. Oh, they copied. And that's what she did. She had the gall to say, Comfort copied Lola Blankets. And I'm like, listen, lady. And today I woke up feeling just evil. And I was like, listen, you just dug yourself a grave because you just said Comfort copies other people. Comfort copied Lola. By your same logic, then Lola copied Minky. Therefore, Lola's crap. But you're talking about how much you like Lola.
Yeah.
And I don't think Lola copied. I like Lola. In fact, we are Lola family. Like my family is a Lola family. We have like 7 of their blankets now. We all love them. So I'm not saying anything about it, but like everybody gets an idea from somebody else. Lululemon, Vuori, Taco Time, Taco Bell, McDonald's, Wendy's, Coke, Pepsi.
Wow, you didn't go Burger King, you went Wendy's, huh?
I went Wendy's because that's my son's favorite restaurant.
Your son has some horrible taste.
I agree. I agree. So besides the Frosty.
Yeah. Frosty's all right.
That's the best thing Wendy has. This episode of The Unstoppable Marketer is brought to you by BFF Creative. Let's be real, hiring designers and video editors can get super expensive. And that's why I'm excited about what BFF Creative has done. They've built a subscription design service that gives you the feel of an in-house creative team, but at a fraction of the cost, which I'm sure we all could use right now. From ad creatives to social media posts, video edits to full website designs, BFF gives you unlimited designs and unlimited requests starting at just $1,000 a month. The best part about this, their custom app makes it super easy to submit projects, give feedback, review work, and store all of your creative in one place. As a listener of the podcast, you get 25% off your first 2 months with code Unstoppable25. That means unlimited creative for as little as $750 a month. Go check them out right now at bffcreative.co. So, okay, so what? Let's talk about this. Is it copying? Like, what is your take on this?
Good question.
Like, where's the line? Where's the copy line? It's ethical line.
Okay, well, there's personal ethics.
Okay.
And then there's business ethics.
Okay.
Some people say those are the same thing, but sometimes they're not.
Sure.
Yeah, look, the I guess most companies are, let's just call this, we'll call it what it is. 95% of companies are doing something that was already being done before they came along.
Yep.
So yeah, like everyone's copying something.
Copying, and even inspired, whatever it might be.
Yeah, and like even the new companies that think they've got something unique and then they see, quote, a competitor or they see someone else launch something that's similar. Well, there's also the phenomenon where people can have the same idea.
Totally.
Like it's not like we live in a very big world. Like let's just take the United States. I mean, we're talking 300. We can get fact checked on this, but I think we're at 330 million.
330, okay.
340.
Yeah, we were right there.
And so out of 340 million, you're talking about how many people under the age of 65? Let's just say like between the ages of 18. So like you can start a business at 18.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do it earlier, but most people aren't.
Yeah.
Like 18 to...
And you can also do it later than 65. But
yeah, like 18 to 50,
Yeah.
right? You're talking probably 40, 50 million people.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people. Like you're not that unique.
Well, not only
Like in a sea of 50 million people in your same demographic that have watched the same movies, listened to the same music,
consumes the same content on social media,
consumes the same content,
that essentially defines who you become, right? I don't think people realize
read
that.
the same books.
That's a whole other conversation, right? Everything we're all viewing, like that's what we become. Like we're all becoming very similar because we're all connected and watching the same videos.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we talked about this even with like regional accents and vernaculars kind of like becoming one big blob of the same thing. But anyways, the point I'm trying to make is it doesn't matter. Now there are some nefarious activities that we are aware of that have happened in business where people have overstepped an ethical line of copying, which is obtaining
IP
information or, stealing. But at the end of the day, you're not, especially if you're in like products like clothes or, so fashion or bags or, anything like that.
Anything everyday life that
there's not a lot of, there's not a lot of things you can do to secure your product in a way that it's so unique that it can't get copied.
Yeah, hence the reason why if you go try to file a patent for anything in that space, you will get denied.
And I mean, even if you have a patent,
yes,
it's still under interpretation in a court of law. Like, I mean,
and not saying that patents and IP, like,
because we've seen people go to court and nothing happens. It's just like a big waste of everyone's money.
Yes,
because
100%.
There's nothing there. But anyways, yeah. So I think the point that we want to arrive to here is,
yes, there's a marketing message here that is extremely important.
Guess what? Yeah, people are going to have the same product, like whether that's your neighbor or someone in California or someone in New York. Like it's going to happen. Your product is never going to be that unique. But guess what? Like competitors coexist, like Burger King and McDonald's, and that's the one I always point to because it's just so obvious. They have coexisted for a long, long time. And
in fact, coexisting with competitors, there is research that actually shows that it can boost both of your businesses. For example,
yes, it can.
Let me explain this.
Well, guess what? People are different. Like out of a sea of 300 million people, like people are going to have very different tastes.
Totally.
Within that big blob of populace.
Well, also let's take Burger King and McDonald's, and then I'm also going to take Minky and Lola, and I'm going to use the same kind of example. Okay, this is just a psychological thing because all marketing is psychological, right? So it's like if I drive by, let's say I'm hungry, okay, and I drive by McDonald's. The question I have in my mind is, should I eat at home? Or should I get McDonald's? That's it, right? Like if I like McDonald's and I'm hungry and so it's fitting, it's like, okay, should I get that? But if I see McDonald's and then across the street I see Burger King, now my mind goes from should I get McDonald's or should I make something at home to which one should I get? Not always, but this is something that happens oftentimes. So that now the people who may not have stopped, now that they see two options, their mind has shifted now. Oh my gosh, I have a different decision to make. What do I want, McDonald's today or do I want Burger King? I'm actually going to pick Burger King today. Whereas I would have normally driven home.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing in this blanket space, right? You've got these blanket wars and Minky's been around forever. And I'm not even going to lie to you, right? Like Minky's been around forever. I haven't owned a single Minky ever. Okay. I've wanted to, because they look luxurious and they look plush and they look whatever. But now all of a sudden I own 7 Lola Blankets. And I didn't do that until Lola came into the mix. And now I started debating between, well, which one am I going to get? And then I got one and now I love them. and I get one for all my kids, and we're getting them. You know, it's like I got one for my office couch. I've got one for my outside couch. You know, like. So I'm not saying that's always science. That's exactly how it works, but we can coexist.
Yeah, and well, look,
and there's so many.
If you're in business, you have competitors, and like that's just the name of the game.
Yes.
And guess what? Like you said, you can differentiate yourself through branding. Lola and Minky have very different brands. Very different brands. And Lola's done an awesome job of coming up with their own style and their own type of blankets. And I think they're a different brand.
They have a different audience
than Minky. And I think they're developing a different audience as well.
Well, I think that's generally what brands will do, right? A brand is generally what develops an audience.
Yeah.
Right. And so, and I think Minky's done a fantastic job. Like I said, Minky, they own the gifting space in Utah. Like they own it.
I mean, people are giving those things as gifts every year.
All the time. It's awesome. It's like, oh, you had a new baby? Oh, it's Christmas? Oh, a corporate gift?
So,
you know, and Lola's not doing that. Not to say that they can't and they won't.
And maybe they do.
Yeah.
And whatever, that's business.
But they're going after a different market who's desiring different things. The other thing, so this is what like the marketing lesson in here is
contrast.
Yeah. And it's not always about differentiating by product because that doesn't always work, right? Like Lululemon's products compared to Vuory's products from a differentiation perspective.
Well, just using the case study of Lola, they're not
different.
Really differentiating their product at all.
No, they're differentiating
in their
advertising.
Audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we were just talking about another one, 10,000, which is athletic wear. Like they went after like the tactical people. They went after the Jocko, the CrossFit, the
type.
And then you have a Vuory that's going after the West Coast laid back vibe. And then you have Roan, who goes after who? The Equinox, New York, Connecticut vibe. And they all are crushing it. So did 10,000 copy Vuory because Vuory was around before that?
Yeah. Everyone copies everyone. And where
are
do
they
you
despicable?
Like try to at least, if you want to start a company, to differentiate somehow, but like everyone's copying everyone to some extent.
Yeah.
So how do you differentiate? Yeah, it's your audience. Yeah. Like you differentiate because you
differentiate through marketing.
Yeah. Who are you and who are you advertising to? What's your brand represent? And brands can often represent two different things.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Like Burger King and McDonald's, for a long time, I think a big differentiator was McDonald's always had like the play places and the Happy Meals and all that stuff. Burger King they've kind of dabbled in that. But like you don't think of Happy Meals.
No.
Like you don't think of like driving through with your kids.
Yeah, like that's what McDonald's meant, was more for family, kids. Burger King was more for like college students, high school.
Flame broiled.
Yeah, like
there's differentiations in their product too. Like they're different hamburgers, but at the end of the day, like they're hamburgers.
Not to say kids don't eat Burger King, but yeah. I mean, another thing is we had like one of my favorite brands that we had on the podcast a while back was Mountain Ops. You remember Trevor Farns? So Mountain Ops is a protein and energy company.
Yeah.
You know how many protein and energy companies are out there? Especially in Utah.
So did they copy someone?
Bucked Up, Clean Simple Eats, Just Ingredients, right? Like we can go on and on and on.
But how many?
But guess who Mountain Ops' audience is? It's hunters.
They've built it for the outdoor community.
And even almost more specific hunters. Like, yes, it's more outdoorsy, but like their main core market.
Which if you remember was not that was not like an obvious thing at the beginning.
No, it wasn't.
That was a very much kind of like they evolved into it.
Yeah.
Because they realized.
But they have green, so they must be copying.
Yeah.
It's like, shut up. So yeah, I'm a little fiery about it, mainly because I've had hundreds of comments of people coming at me being like, oh, you support so-and-so or whatever. And you're just like, whatever. So the lesson here is great marketers
How
understand
dare
how
you.
to build a brand that connects with a unique audience to them. So niche through audience and tailor your brand to that audience. And you can create anything. You can go out and literally, like, Comfort is worth, well, that isn't worth, they're worth much more than this. Comfort did $200 million, over $200 million in sales last year, or in the last 365 days. In sweatpants and hoodies. And so, like, that to me,
But they're copying Nike.
the most saturated market on earth. I don't know if I can think of a more saturated.
Yeah, they're copying
thing.
Champion.
Yeah, exactly. The copied Champion. Or Tommy Hilfiger. Or
Whoever made hoodies in the 80s.
The Gap.
Yeah.
You know, so.
But great for comfort, you know, and.
Yeah, will they be an everlasting big brand? I don't know.
I hope so.
Yeah, I do too.
I think they're great.
Yeah.
But again, how do you differentiate in marketing is define your audience, define your brand through that lens of who your audience is.
Yeah.
And I mean, we just got off a phone call of a company that sells something that you would assume skews to a younger audience.
Yeah.
A lot of their competitors are branding for a younger audience.
Totally.
They, from their data and also from some of their initial ads, skew older.
Yes.
Like quite a bit older.
Yeah.
And then the big question is, well,
is that the direction you want to go?
Which direction do you want to go?
Yeah.
Do you want to try to play in this world where
you are competing a little bit more with your competitors?
Well, and also you're trying to maybe sell something that maybe the product market fit isn't quite as good as the younger audience, even though people assume it might be.
Totally.
But the
everyone
product,
wants the younger audience. Yeah.
But the product fits with an older demographic and the content's hitting, like everything's working.
Yeah.
So the big question is, do you double down on that? And you can differentiate your brand just right there.
Yep. You can differentiate.
And we obviously are going to advocate for
differentiation.
Like you're going to be the only brand in this category going for that older audience.
I'd much
where
rather
everyone
fight
else
in that place. Yeah.
Is going for the younger.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you can't have a brand that then starts bringing in the younger audience.
Totally.
Same like with Kizik.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. They started at old, went to pregnant, and now they're trying to go to everyone, which could end up killing them. It totally could.
It could.
Maybe so I don't know. That's actually a good one for like, we'll see, because they crushed it here, and word on the street is that it's not going growth wise the same way.
Yeah,
which is understandable.
You have to
because
define growth. Like if you had exponential growth.
Yeah, because when you have exponential growth, you don't consider always. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm very curious to watch what happens with them. But their whole they've gotten rid of their entire like legacy team.
That's true.
So
there's a little drama there on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
there's been some comments made about some things happening there.
Yeah, speaking of Utah brands, I'm ready for a shoe company to come in, and maybe that's the next one. But the next petty
again, but
this is the next petty one that's happening.
Kizik's a shoe brand. Did they copy Nike?
No. In fact, Nike bought licensing from them. Like Nike didn't look at Kizik and be like, "You're creating an athletic wear shoe. Let's crush you."
Like just different.
Like you did something different. Actually, can we license it?
Yeah.
Your technology. So here's another one that's happening. We don't know exactly what's going on. I will only say good things about Built Bar, but Built Bar is in a legal battle right now with another company called Blue Unicorn, which is somebody who also is very similar, like Crumbl to Dirty Deal Story, from what I've heard. Somebody, once again, stole IP from Built, started their own company. That's what the lawsuit is.
Which
I read the lawsuit.
If that's true, I do believe that is grounds for.
I agree. Yeah. If it's not true, it is what it is.
If you're stealing things from companies, but like if you're just building something, even if you're copying, like you often have the right to just build something else.
100%. 100%.
But Built Bar does have a pretty like unique formula.
Yeah. And we've had him on the podcast.
Same way like Coca-Cola.
Few better people than that guy. So like, yeah, I'm very interested in.
Go to war over their formula.
Yeah. And guess what? You also, as a founder, have every right to protect your company too. Right? If something's coming that could like not just steal your business because they're better at marketing than you, but like, hey, they're taking my ideas, my product, my data. once again, I'm not saying Blue Unicorn did this because we'll see how that plays out. You have every right to do this, right? Crumbl, when they sued Dirty Dough, even though I loved how Dirty Dough approached it and just smacked them with the marketing campaigns, I also respected Crumbl for doing it because it's like, you've got hundreds and maybe thousands of franchises that you have to protect. Like, you have to go to battle.
Oh yeah.
For, or else these people who put their hard working money to become a franchise could be out of business because somebody stole something. Once again, I don't know if the Dirty Dough did or whatever. Like I said, it was settled.
Yeah, but the point is, like, you understand why sometimes,
of course,
you do have to take maybe legal action.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the line of like who copied who, well, everyone's copying somebody or something or taking inspiration from somewhere else. Like, we're not all that unique.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so at the end of the day, like, what's going to win is like how you differentiate yourself.
Yeah.
Like, lawsuits are not generally going to be how you win in the long run. Maybe they are.
Yeah. Put somebody out of business and you have a short-term win. Maybe.
But it's your branding.
Yep.
Your branding and your marketing and your message and who your audience actually is.
Yeah.
And like being so committed to serving that audience. And it's okay to differentiate your audience too, right? Like, if you're not differentiated enough from people, like, think about, does that align with your values to differentiate in a new way to a new audience?
Yeah. 100%.
Especially if you're starting out like that, you got way more wiggle room at the beginning.
Yeah. A lawsuit maybe saves you today where a branding saves you, like good branding saves you tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, all right. I like it. I felt a little fiery.
Yeah.
In that
you're a little fiery.
I'm just fiery because I've had so many people come at me for
like,
and it was funny.
How
like,
dare you?
Yeah. And I didn't even at all in my like stuff say, I support Lola 100% or I support Swig. Like, I didn't even come out and say who I support or what.
Yeah.
But you have so many people who are just like, how dare you? Da, 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 da. So just stop.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny.
Worry about yourself. Stop worrying about your competition. Protect IP. Don't copy other people's content.
But also,
then you're good.
Yeah, protect your IP, but also just realize that, like,
you can only do that so much.
Yeah, like, what is IP?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's a big one that we should probably get into. Like
the reality is, like, you can look at, if you just wanted to build something, let me just think about it right now. Like, if I wanted to do, let's just say, oh, you know what? I think it'd be really cool to start an Apple Watch band company. Go on the internet.
Yeah. Well, we started a golf glove company called Asher Golf.
Is there anything unique about Apple Apple Watch bands? Probably not. Like, I could probably go source some really fast. So that's cool, but there's a million. Like, why would anyone want to buy an Apple Watch band from me? Like, well, I'd probably have to niche it and make it unique and whatever the brand is. But like, is anyone going to be able to sue me?
No. Well, in 2016, we started a company called Asher Golf, which was color, like golf gloves with designs and color. And there was one
instead of the traditional white.
Yeah. And there was one other company who dominated it called G4. And they came at us all the time. How dare you copy us? But G4 was meant for the elites, the country club. And we built Asher at the time. We built Asher for the weekend warrior.
Yeah.
Right. For the kid who just wanted to stand out, for the kid who wanted to differentiate himself, not for the guy who had $50 million in his bank account, who could spend $45 on a glove because that's what they charge was $45 and we charged $25. They came at us all the time, but it's like, yes, I guess when you look at apples to apples, like we both made colored golf gloves. So are we copycats? I guess if that's how you're looking at it, yes. But in no way did I ever go on G4's website and constantly be like, okay, they're doing this, they're doing that. Let's do this. Let's do that. You know, it was like, we always had a completely different vision, but we,
and the reality is
we live rent free in their mind though.
You guys probably started without even thinking about them.
1,000. I actually did not know
it was
G4
probably
existed.
just, oh, hey, it would be cool to make this product.
Didn't know they existed.
And you made the same product.
Yeah. When we started it, I had no idea they existed. As somebody who is in the golf market, like who's been golfing my entire life.
You're like, oh, I guess there's another.
Yeah.
And you'll find that all the time. Like, just do that exercise.
Yeah.
Have you ever done that where you're like, let's think of a business and then just like Google it? Like, it's going to be there.
Yeah.
You're going to find someone doing it.
Every single, yeah, of course.
Someone's beat you.
So,
and someone beat them too.
Yeah.
It's just, that's business, man.
So lesson learned is differentiate through audience.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the way to win. Like, that's good marketing. That's great marketing, actually, if you can do that. So bravo to everybody who's crushing it. Poo-poo to everybody who's bent out of shape that someone copied them. Because if that's how you are, you're probably going to lose.
Usually.
Yeah. So get over it.
Because
protect what you can protect and move on.
We're not rooting. I mean, I think you made that clear, but
not rooting against anyone.
I think there's room for a lot of businesses.
Yeah.
To do similar and the same things.
I agree. Well, also, I think one thing I just want to get on the record.
The real fight is against drop sellers.
And China stealing IP.
I'm just kidding. Drop sellers. I'm just kidding.
Last thing I just want on the record before we close. We have a big bet going on in the office right now for the Masters, who's going to win the Masters. And so I just want to get this on the record so we can listen to it. So everyone knows. So Mark and I and another guy in our office, we have $100 bet going, and we did a draft pick. So we each get an American and we each get a European.
Yeah, we do.
Yep. So Mark got pick number 1, which meant he got number 1. I ended up getting number 3, which means I got number 4. So it went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Mark, you got Scheffler and who's your European? Oh, Shane Lowry. Scotty Scheffler and Shane Lowry. So the deal is like,
yes.
We only get the money if one of them wins. It's not whoever was like if Scotty took second and Mark was the closest, he wins. That doesn't work that way. I have Xander Schauffele as my American and Ludwig Åberg. I don't know if I pronounced his last name, the Swede, as my European, as my international.
Round 1.
Scotty's probably, he was doing well. So
I don't know if
that's the record. When you're listening to this podcast, you will know who won or who lost.
Oh, nice.
I just had to put it there.
Lowry has not started yet.
Oh. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. And we will see you guys next week. Thank you so much for listening to the Unstoppable Marketer podcast. Please go rate and subscribe the podcast, whether it's good or bad. We want to hear from you because we always want to make this podcast better. If you want to get in touch with me or give me any direct feedback, please go follow me and get in touch with me. I am at the Trevor Crump on both Instagram and TikTok. Thank you, and we will see you next week.